All right, the Cosmetic Lane, Sam Tahada here. We're at our Fort Lauderdale office. This is one of our flagship. It's a corporately owned location, and I'm gonna give you a quick tour. Follow me. All right, so we're in our metabolic health division department here at Liquivita Fort Lauderdale. So this technology that we have here, this is called a DEXA scan. So historically, a DEXA scan has been known to be utilized for bone density, to calculate how strong your bones are. So what do we do in the world of functional medicine with the DEXA scan? Not just looking at bone density, but we also look at what's called body composition analysis. What is body composition analysis? So body composition analysis, we're looking what your body is actually made up of, right? Instead of getting on a regular scale that tells you total weight, what you're doing when you lay on here, it's actually going to tell us how much intracellular water you have, how much extracellular water you have, how much adipose fat, which is more of like the fluffy fat that people have around their waist, how much visceral fat, which is the fat that lines your organs, which if you have a high percentage of that, that can be indicative of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and a bunch of other chronic illnesses. And then this also tells us how much lean mass you have, meaning how much muscle you have on your left arm, left leg. So now we actually know, before we put you on any of our programs, what your body's made up of. Because sometimes when you go through, let's say, a weight loss journey, you don't see the scale move. Why is that? Because sometimes if you're actually following a good program, you're implementing good nutrition and also exercise, you're going to put on lean muscle as you get rid of fat. So let me show you what the difference is, right? We have a pound of what? Muscle. We have a pound of fat, right? So as you start losing this, you start to gain some of this. And what happens on a regular scale, it stays the same. But when you get on this device and this technology, we're gonna see the progress that you're making, and you'll have the objective data to see that it actually works. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and check out some other great biohacking and wellness services we have. All right, we're inside of the next room, part of our metabolic health division. So this room here, we're doing some diagnostics, more diagnostics, right? We're trying to figure out what it looks like under the hood. This is what we call looking under the hood. So this bike here, this is part of a test that we do. It's called the VO2 max test. So VO2 max test, we're looking at a few different things. We're looking at your heart, we're looking at your lungs, and we're looking at cellular health, right? When we talk about cellular health, we're looking at how your mitochondria is performing. So what is the VO2 max? So VO2 max, we're really big into educating our clients. So what we have are a bunch of reference charts here. So part of our reference charts, when you look at the VO2 reference chart up here, what we're actually doing is we're looking at your cardiovascular function. We're looking at how good your endurance is. So we work with a lot of professional athletes when it comes to the VO2 max to see how we can improve their endurance. And then we also calculate what your true fat burning zone is. So that's part of the VO2 max. Then right behind you over here, you're gonna go ahead and take a look at this system that we have. That chair that's right there is not for you to just sit back and watch the show of the person on the bike. There's a purpose for that chair. So that chair, we do what's called the RMR. So that stands for resting metabolic rate. So what do we do with the resting metabolic rate? So the resting metabolic rate, this is the device that we use, also utilized for the VO2 max. And this device here, it's owned by a company called Pinoy. So the Pinoy, with the resting metabolic rate, you're fasting for about 10 hours in advance. So you're on an empty stomach, right? So you sit down in that chair, and for a certain period of time, about 15 to 20 minutes, you're breathing in and out through this mask. So what is it doing? It's calculating that resting metabolic rate. What kind of information do we get from the resting metabolic rate? We actually get to see how many calories you're burning at the rested state. So what do I do with that information? Now I have the ability to actually customize your nutritional program and tell you exactly how many micros and macros of nutrition you're supposed to intake in every meal that you have throughout the day. Alongside with that, I have the ability to see if you're not working out enough, and I also have the ability to see if you're overworking out. So this allows us to customize your exercise programs and then also your nutritional programs. All right, come follow me for the next one. All right, we're over here in one of our biohacking rooms, and we have our client here sitting down. He's not shaking like a salt shaker for no reason. So this here is the pulse electromagnetic field therapy. It's with our device that's called Pulse. Very reputable machine here. And what I want to do is I have one of my business partners, the medical director here at Liquivita, health and wellness, functional health and wellness expert, Dr. Kendrick Haywood, who's got a lot of experience, doesn't just work with Liquivita, he's also with 10X Health Systems. Dr. Haywood, so let's go ahead and talk about a little bit more of pulse electromagnetic field therapy.
So this is a PEMF mat, and this right here is, helping your body, mimic the same experience of you grounding. So what is grounding? That's when you putting your bare feet on earth. Think about how many people live in high rises. They're not getting their feet on bare sand, soil, grass, because our earth has an electromagnetic field. So think about this. This man sitting here getting a little bit of magnetism, but what is that going to really do? Think about what's in our body that's going to be real magnetic. Hemoglobin. It's iron-based, right? It's the only thing that we know comes to our body is for mineral-based. But when you put a PMF mat and you sit on it, and you're going to have a lot of EMP going through your body, what happens is it's going to separate the red blood cells. So it's going to allow the oxygen in the red blood cells to flow better through his body.
Dr. Haywood, I love that. So one of the things that I've noticed in the IV space, this is becoming more popular where they don't even have the regular chairs no more. They have the people doing IVs here because it helps with absorption of those nutrients. Can you explain a little bit more about how that works?
Oh, it definitely helps with absorption, because think about this. Now you don't have so much clumping of the red blood cell, right? So what's going to allow? It's going to allow your body to have oxygen, carry other minerals throughout the body more effectively. Or think about this. What's the first thing that we did for thousands of years on this planet? We woke up and we had red light bed, right? Because we had that UV radiation first thing in the morning, that red looking sun. And the other thing we did was we stood up and we grounded. We put our feet on the earth. And think about, how do you feel? How do you feel first thing in the morning? Or say you're on the beach, you get 45 minutes of good ground and some sand. Pretty good mood, right? You feel energetic, elated. All I have to do right now really is getting that electromagnetic pulse going through your body, separating your red blood cells and delivering, better nutrients, oxygen. And think about what we need to make energy. We need to make ATP, right? So we need oxygen and NAD+. Those are the two main things that we need to make ATP in our body, because that's our body's energy currency.
I love it. I love it. Dr. Haywood, how often should somebody do something like this?
Well, I like doing at least once a week. You can do a few different ones, a few times, twice a week, but I like doing mine at least once a week. So
awesome. Dr. Haywood, for the people watching, want to get educated more, where can they find you? What's your handle?
So you can find me at Dr. Ken Haywood on Instagram and also on my YouTube channel.
Awesome. Get that PEMF. All right. Boom. All right. So now we got a few other things here at Liquivita. Are part of our aesthetics division. We have a lot of retail product. Our goal at Liquivita is not just to treat our patients here, but also make sure that they go home with appropriate products to continue their treatment. So we have some really good quality product here. This is all pharmaceutical grade. It's third-party tested. This product here is actually made by Skin Medica. It's owned by Allergan, right? Just like Botox and Juvederm. So great products that we have here to take care of our patients and make sure that they're keeping their skincare on point. All right, so we got more of our retail product over here. So when we look at this retail product, this is more on our wellness side. So these are good quality products. Actually, this product here, it's called Excite My. We actually help them develop the formulas of these products. These have every qualifier you can think of, USDA organic, right? All natural supplements, cruelty-free, vegan-friendly. These are the best and the healthiest wellness gummies that are out on the market. You won't find anything as good as this. All of our products here, these are not things that you just take off a shelf. This is based off of people's deficiencies. We typically, what we're doing is running the blood work, seeing exactly what their deficiencies are, and then choosing which of these products are gonna fit best for their actual wellness needs. So part of getting our patients feeling better and getting their health on point, IV vitamin therapy is critical part of that. So this is our Liquivita lounge. It's our IV lounge, where what we do is we allow our patients to get their vitamin drips in a very comfortable setting. So we have our reclining chairs. We put our mood lighting in here as well too. We go ahead and dim the lights a bit. We have heating pads to keep them nice and warm. They can go ahead and kick their feet back. We have Wi-Fi, and then also Liquivita TV programming, where they can learn more about the different services and modalities that we offer. So our whole model is, as you relax the mind, you replenish the body. All right, so this room here, you guys probably already know what it is. This is one of our treatment rooms, our procedural rooms. So as you can see in our procedural rooms, we obviously, Liquivita is a franchise system. So we actually sell franchises nationwide. We're really big into compliance. So one of the things that you'll see throughout the office as you're getting a tour is that you'll see quality technology and devices, right? So right here, this is a medical grade refrigerator. So one of the things that you got to always keep in mind when you go into like a med spa or wellness center that they're housing medication, it's very important that they have a medical grade refrigerator. These things have a thermostat inside and also outside. We have a temperature log that we utilize and document at the first point of the day, opening procedures and then also closing procedures. These also have a locking mechanism where we can lock it and make sure all of the pharmaceuticals are safe. So the one thing you got to watch out for is if you go to any kind of wellness clinic or med spa and they're utilizing those cheap like $200 refrigerators from Walmart that you usually put like your Coca-Cola or some kind of soft drink in it, that is not a medical grade refrigerator. It's not keeping the medication at the appropriate temperature, right? These have certain compressors, backup compressors, all kinds of stuff. So compliance is key. You'll see we have things for sharp containers to do assessments. This is what Liquivita is all about, is making sure that we exceed what is required out of us when it comes to compliance. So one of the other procedures we do, so our medical providers in these rooms, it's either a medical doctor, nurse practitioner, or physician assistant. One of the other procedures we do a lot of is the medical weight loss. So we use the GLP-1 drugs like semaglutide and also tirzepatide. So, they're very effective. There's a lot of clinical research that backs up those programs. So we have a lot of patients. I've taken it myself and have my own success stories behind it. But here at Liquivita, you're not just going to go ahead and order this type of medication off the internet. We put you through a thorough assessment. We do blood work, we do the body composition analysis, we do the resting metabolic rate before we actually start you on the weight loss program, so we can go ahead and trend the process and see that you're actually making progress. So those are some of the things that we do in this room. Alongside with that, we do medical aesthetic procedures, the Botox, fillers, all of that great stuff. And then we also use stem cell derived products like exosomes that will do knee injections, we'll do PRP injections, the platelet rich plasma in the shoulders and the elbows. So we're doing a variety of different procedures to make sure our patients are well. All right, so now we're here inside of our lab area. So in our lab area, this is where we put our IV drips together. So as I mentioned earlier, we're really big into compliance. So one of the things that we do here when we put our IVs together, we put it under what's called a ISO 5 hood system. What is an ISO 5 hood system? So this is utilized to try to keep things as sterile as possible, right? Meaning what our goal is to keep the sterility of these IV drips intact, making sure that we're giving our patients the cleanest possible product intravenously. So how does this work? So the hood system, if I open it up like this, you'll actually hear it. It's making noise. So the hood system, what it's doing here, it's actually pulling air from the top. It's going through a HEPA filter, right? And the air that goes inside here, that's pushing out the dirty air out, all of the air that's in here is clean, filtered air, making sure that there's no particulates that are in the air that can potentially go into the IV bag throughout the mixing process, right? So the ISO 5 hood system is extremely important. If you get IVs done, you want to make sure that the clinic that's putting the IVs together has a hood system. If they don't have a hood system, run. All right. Next thing, when it comes to compliance. When it comes to compliance, we have the highest quality product in the IV space. What is it? Our Liquivita kits and packets. So again, medical grade refrigerator. All of our medications, our nutrients, our sterile nutrients are kept inside of this refrigerator. So I'm gonna show you exactly what our products look like. So the IV packets, what we've done is we have several different formulas for the different personas, and everything's pre-measured, pre-dosed. So this is our liquid lift. This is like our, what I call the Mac Daddy drip. You get basically everything inside of this IV drip. And it has 4 vials in here. Everything's pre-measured and pre-dosed. So when we make the IV drips, when the nurses actually go and make the IV drips, they grab each vial, they extract all the solution out of the vial, and then what they do is they just put the solution into the IV bag and it's ready to go. There's no drug calculations or anything that you have to worry about. So you know that you're always gonna get the right product, the right dosages, and you're gonna get the full benefit. So these are our IV packets. The other biggest benefit of it is that these are preservative free, right? So when you have the different vials that you see that medical professionals creating like 10 IV drips out of it, those are what's called multi-dose vials. So multi-dose vials, for it to be a multi-dose vial, what they do is they put preservatives in it. So when they put the preservatives, the reason they put the preservatives in the vial is so bacteria doesn't grow inside of the vial. Now, that's okay, that's a good thing to a certain extent, but my problem with that is if you're gonna go ahead and put those medications at high dosages directly into the vein, now you're putting preservatives into your body. So what happens when that preservative goes into your body? So typically the preservative that's being utilized in a multi-dose vial, it's called benzoyl alcohol, right? Similar to the like rubbing alcohol. So when you have benzoyl alcohol, which is classified as a toxin, go directly into your cellular system, it causes what's called oxidative stress. And what does oxidative stress cause? Oxidative stress causes inflammation. When we do these IV drips with high dose vitamin C and also glutathione and all of these other nutrients, our main goal is to reduce oxidative stress and reduce inflammation. Because vitamin C is a natural antioxidant that also works as a natural anti-inflammatory. So it's counterproductive for what we're trying to do with the patient's health if we give them some of these nutrients that have toxins, right? The multi-dose preservatives of benzoyl alcohol. So we want to make sure we give our patients the highest quality product, make sure that we have good efficacy in place, and they're actually going to get the full benefit of what the IV infusions are supposed to give them, right? And that's the benefit of the Liquivita kits and packets. So you hear me say kits and packets, that's the packet that has the medication. The packets also come inside of the kits, just like that. So the kit, the full kit, actually has all of the different products and devices, everything from the catheter with the via valve, right? So the blood doesn't bleed until you actually connect the IV tubing. We have our high quality IV tubing. This is just not regular IV tubing where, it just flows through the tube. This actually has what's called a micron filter. The micron filter will filter out any particulates that can come from precipitation of the medication. It can also filter up to 99% bacteria that can potentially go into the bag during the mixing process. So these are the little things that are important to have in your IV drips if you get them. So in this room, we also do the IVs. We start them here and then we take them to the lounge. We try to keep all the blood here in the lab area just in case if anything happens. So we do all of the IVs. We start it here. And then alongside with that, we do blood work, the comprehensive blood work that we were talking about. So the comprehensive blood work that we do, we collect the blood here, we spin it in the centrifuge, prep it up, and get it ready for the labs to come pick it up at the end of the day to process it by the next day. Sam Tejada, president and founder of Liquivita, chairman of the American IV Association, just got interviewed with the Cosmetic Lane Ask the Expert segment. Make sure you comment, like, follow, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Check us out.